Well, good morning. We are just inside the gate in Liftholt. You can't see it, but it's just over there. What you can probably see, that we have not really investigated before, is this little pond that's just behind me. I say pond, I think it's another one of those that when it rains a lot fills up with water, and then probably as the heat goes on it will just dry out. But for now it looks very pondy. I have seen ducks on it before. I tried to get a video but they flew off before I could. As you can see, there's still many daffodils around. They are still in full flight. I think we're probably approaching the end of them. The last couple of days have been really interesting actually, because it has been frosting overnight, which I don't think is making them very happy. But then during the day it's getting way up there, so you're going from low flying gulls, sorry. You're going from just above freezing, so 2 degrees in centigrade, and I guess probably 30, 36, something like that. I don't know, just guessing. And then during the day it's been up to 15, 17, which I guess would be approaching 70 in Fahrenheit. So yeah, quite big swings. You know, now I need to be in a coat. We're in the morning. By this afternoon I could probably be out in a t-shirt and it'd be fine. Sorry, very distracted by birds. But yeah, so it is making for some interesting conditions. It has definitely warmed up. I do wonder, I had been thinking, well, probably the little flowers are going to start bursting out, and I think I certainly have seen them on lawns, but whether they are in the woods or not, I guess we'll investigate today. I'll see if I can find any, because I don't know if the frost is sort of holding them off a bit in the evenings. We will see. Anyway, off we go, I guess. No particular plan in mind. Well, I was just about to step back onto the path, and we've actually gone ahead and found our first new flower of the day, of the week, shall we say. And I believe this to be wood anemones. Oh, I can never say it. Anemones. So these little guys apparently are early spring bloomers. Try and get out before all the trees have their leaves to take advantage of the sun. Fun facts. I always want to do fun facts, sometimes I forget. Apparently they are named after the Greek god Anemos, hopefully I'm saying that right, who sent them before him. I guess there's some, I guess he might have some wind connotations, and the theory is he sort of sent them on ahead of him. All kinds of stories there. But anyway, yeah, lovely. Now I think this isn't the best view. I think they will open up and look a little bit more star-shaped, but they are still in their morning form right now. So if I see a better example, we will go ahead and get a shot of that as well. I'm sure there will be. Oh, there's a bunch of primroses just up ahead. Whilst we're here, we've got a song thrush really going for it up there. Obviously, I didn't bring my scopes, otherwise I'd get a lot closer. But you can very much hear his song. It's the loudest thing that you should be hearing right now. And it's a constant variation of calls. Alright, I almost walked past this guy. What seems to be some kind of violet, although I am not sure which one. Perhaps in looking at the video later I will try and assess, but it may be tricky. There's just one right in the middle of some primroses. Get a bit closer on those leaves as well in case that helps. Lovely colour though. I think this is the most richly coloured flower we've had so far. Alright, I think we may have talked about this a few weeks ago, and maybe I got it right. I don't know if it was this plant I was pointing at, but I definitely remember saying that something was Herb Robert, and I believe we have found it. Now it's flowering. If you look at the leafage to foliage, should we go with foliage? Doesn't sound... Anyway, you can see that it's got this red tinge to it, which is actually quite attractive too. But the flowers are pretty cool. I guess some people consider them a weed when they're in the garden, but I think they're pretty lovely actually. I guess if you want a fun fact, I suppose it sounds like this was used in healing wounds and such in the past. Sorry, I feel like I should have a better fact than that, but there you go. Whether it was effective or not, I guess is another question. Also, it's edible, both the flower and the leaves. I'm not going to test that out now. I'm not a forager. So we've made it out to the stump of standing, or today, the stump of sitting. As you can tell, round here it is very flowery. I think because the lack of trees, relative lack of trees, it just lets a lot of sunlight in here, and I mean, it's just going crazy. The Herb Robert that we just found, it's just back there. I mean, it's all over. There's little celandines just in between all the daffodils here. I think this is going to be a bit of a flowery place, so we will come back here. Why, I suppose one question one could have is, why am I being so obsessed with flowers? Which is quite a reasonable question, I think. There's lots of other things going on. Trees, birds, animals, maybe some other things as well. The reason, I think, there's probably a couple of reasons. One, I just like wildflowers. I think yes, garden plants are nice, but they're quite exaggerated, aren't they? I guess they're bred from wildflowers probably, and they make them bigger and better. Like the primroses you get in garden centres here, they're just so massive and over colourful somehow. There's just something nice about the wildflowers. I also like how they just are hidden amongst the undergrowth, and you can just walk past them without seeing them. I always like things like that. So that's one aspect. When I was over in America, I actually got a little interested over there too, and I started taking pictures of them. Like, in theory, nice pictures. I'll flash a couple up if I can find them whilst I'm saying this. And I was just enjoying finding them. Some of them are really hard to actually even see. They're so tiny. So it was just fun to sort of document something that you just wander by otherwise. I think another reason, if I'm going to be totally honest, is that they are happening and they are available to be able to get shots of. Obviously, we struggled with birds because I'm not really equipped for that. Even if you are equipped, birds are tricky. They move around a lot and they want to be away from you. Flowers, they just sort of sit there and let you do what you want. So there is a degree to which flowers are easier to focus on. That's not to say I don't want to focus on other things, but yeah, that's definitely a thing. Also, as you can see if you look behind me, the trees here have not yet started really coming out a whole lot. They are still semi-dormant now. When you get up close, you can see that some of them have buds on or flowers on, but they are not yet fully going for it. So I imagine we'll attempt at least to focus on them again a bit more once they kick off. But yeah, just an explanation why I'm going around. I quite like the sort of collection aspect of it as well, of finding as many different flowers as we can. That seems quite fun. So there is a little bit of an extra focus on them right now. Anyway, it is a nice morning out here. Another morning for basking on the stump of standing in the sun. I'll show you what the sun's doing. There you go. I don't know why I said I'll show you what the sun's doing. I mean, the sun is just doing what it does, but it is out mostly, a bit of haze. And it's just a really nice morning. Look at this guy here. It's like a fly. Sorry about that. It flew off and I totally lost my train of thought and just hit the stop on the video. But I was able to then look it up and see what it probably is. And it appears to be a dark-edged bee fly, which is a ridiculous name. But I guess they are somewhat in the family of bees. They seem to be parasitic in some ways. I don't know, but it's interesting with that little proboscis, should we call it? I don't know what you call it. At the front, I'm assuming that it's enjoying the daffodils. There was a few of them and they seem to just hover in the air. And yeah, I don't know. Weird looking thing, but thankfully got a good enough picture of it to be able to identify, because there's a few different varieties, but those wavy bits on the wings apparently distinguish it pretty easily. So there we go. It's funny that out on the verge here, it just feels very springy. There's bees buzzing around. I saw a butterfly take off, although too quick for me to see what it was going to be. With the sun on here a little bit, it just feels like it's come to life in a way that it didn't feel quite in the woods. So it's pretty cool. I guess part of the verge habitat, I know that's just what I'm calling it. Whatever you call the thing in between two different areas. There we go. I said we'd get you a wood anemone opened up once the sun got out a bit more. And there you have it. Alright, if you saw the video a few weeks back on identifying trees, and my pathetic attempts to do so, you might remember these trees. They have this interesting bark. There was 3 of them. I think I might have said that they could be a cherry, a wild cherry. I remember at least looking that up and seeing it as a possibility. But excitingly, they have started to put out some blossoms, and on searching this, it's suggesting wild cherry. So that's exciting. Even if I was wrong, the fact that now we seem to be, because I honestly don't remember what we said. The fact that we maybe now have an ID is making me feel a lot more happy about our chances of IDing trees once things start coming out on them, not having to just rely on bark. So there you go. It's become a bit of an obligatory thing each week to come down and look at the daffodils by fallen tree, and so here we are again. I would say, looking at them, they're just holding on there. They're doing all right, but let me give you an example here. See, just some of them are beginning to feel a little bit on the way out. See that? So maybe we've caught the best of the daffodils. Might be amongst our last times enjoying them here, and then they'll all be gone, awaiting to be seen next year. Now, if you saw the identifying plants video, which I also think was mostly disaster, we saw these guys that are on long stalks with this crown of dark green leaves. They are beginning to, I guess we could say, flower. They're very green, but I guess they're flowers. And on doing a quick checkup, it's calling them wood spurge. That's what it's suggesting. I remember the name spurge, so maybe we got that right at least. So another sort of semi-successful ID, I think we could grant ourselves. The remnants of the fallen tree. So we're in Rita Woodoo this morning, and whilst I've brought a tripod accessory, I forgot that I had unattached the little phone attachment, and so we are going handheld, which might mean any shots towards me and some shots away from me are going to be rather shaky, so I'm sorry about that. I'll probably just minimize what I'm doing in this manner, and I mean, it's too close anyway, isn't it? Sorry. Anyway, we're just going to see what's happening over here real quick for the week. So last week we were trying to work out what was happening with this tree. I thought it was about to break out into white blooms because there were little white buds showing, but it turns out I was very wrong, and excitingly we are getting these little guys here, which, doing my usual tactic of a little hunt search, leads me to find that these may actually be willow catkins from either a goat willow or a grey willow. I guess there's a few different ones that it could be. And what I didn't realise is that pussy willow refers to all of them, or all of the similar types of tree, just because they have this furry nature to them, and that's why they call them pussy willows. But this one appears to be, yeah, maybe a goat, maybe a grey, but different to what I expected. I expected flowers. We got catkins, so that's pretty cool actually. So there are a number of different trees in here that I hadn't even realised. I felt like it was something a little different to most of what I'm seeing because it's just, the shape is a bit different. So very cool. Another cluster of anemones over here that again haven't quite opened up, but they are in the sun, so I imagine in the next couple of hours these will all be popping out and face up. So I've come over to the vista. I don't come down here as often as I would like, to be honest. I'm not sure why. I think because there's not really a proper path down to it. Just this as best you can down the trek through these daffodils. You can't even really see it. But it's just so nice down here. If I had a chair here, I could definitely sit and just watch. Because it's rather nice out there. You can't actually really see the distant hills right now. Let me do a crazy zoom. You can just about see some shapes through the mist there. I say that, I'm telling you what you can see. I can just about see some shapes through the mist. It is difficult there. But yeah, I mean, this is a rather nice place to hang out, really. I always find this interesting. This tree that has fallen here pretty badly, and yet signs of new growth on it. It's still trying. There must be just enough connection to allow it to try and keep living, which is pretty cool. Well, I think that's probably it for this week, unless something really monumental pops up on our way back. But thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next time. I guess I'll put out the thing I kind of hate to do, but it does seem to help people remember. If you get a chance to do the liking of the video, the subscribing to the channel, you can leave a comment, tell me all the things I get wrong. I'm fine with that. Anyway, see you next time. Bye bye.